right, we're live. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the final regular season Sunday. Can't believe that it's here already on Football Sunday, Week 18 of the NFL. Can't believe it. Feels like we just started this last week, believe it or not. Flown by. Here, Nevada Nick, how you doing, buddy? And
we say it every year, though, Coach, don't we?
We do.
You know, we're doing week one, and then all of a sudden, here we are, and it's like, my God, you know. And look, there was an extra week this year too.
Yep.
And it still flew by. And you know, but not a ton of great games today, but we do have a really good game tonight to look forward to. And look. You know, the Raiders fans always say how the NFL's against them. Well, how bad would it be? How good would it be if the NFL does 17 games and that's the reason the Raiders get in? Because they weren't in last week. So hopefully Raiders can get their win tonight. Really, looking forward to that game. That'll be a good one. But yeah, ready to go, Coach.
Yeah, Stizz, by the way, everyone, Stizz, I think he's still at Phil and Jim's trying to get some cheesesteaks or something. He'll be with us here shortly. Here
we go. Don't give me your internet problems again. Coach, you there? Coach. Coach. Oh, here we go with his internet issues. Coach, once again, with his brilliant internet, we really got to start up a GoFundMe for Coach. Get that internet connection better. Buy that higher speed. Coach is still.
Listen, wait a second. I don't understand why it says down on the bottom, my computer internet thing is topped out, but yet this little window up here keeps coming up. And,
Coach, I think you're using dial-up. Coach is still on AOL dial-up.
I have those little cards. Yes, the free. Remember they give you those free AOL cards. You get free 100 minutes.
I'm up Brian knows. Yeah, he still isn't dial-up. Now I'm going to be stuck without Coach. I'll be talking by myself. But just get ready for it. I'm going to be put on the spot. But Coach, yeah, you want to start with the Eagles last night? I mean, pretty much meaningless game. You know, obviously the Cowgirls fans will probably be like, "Oh yeah, we killed you guys again," but
right.
I don't really see the Cowboys
playing. You were playing.
There he is.
There he is.
Sammy, how about them Cowboys? Sammy, our whole
playing against a bunch of scrubs. They're playing against scrubs last night. I mean, the backups. Come on,
Sammy. Now it's the Cowboys' time, buddy. Let's see how they do in the playoffs. And if they make a run, and look, the Cowboys are a good team, but I don't like how they looked lately. I don't like how Dax looked. So let's see how they do in the playoffs. I'm real curious to see how that works out. But yeah, it's getting into the Eagles games, Coach. Obviously it is what it is. Eagles really couldn't improve their playoff spot,
right?
Because if the Niners win today, the Niners were always going to be ahead of them. If the Niners lose and the Saints win, the Saints were always going to be behind them. Right. So because they beat the Saints head to head, so it really was a meaningless game. That's why you didn't see Hurts play. You didn't see anybody who was nicked up play. Kelsey obviously did come in for the first snap. Sandy thinks they're going to surprise us all. I mean,
yeah.
Sam, I don't think so, Sam. But you know what? They got a good defense, but I think it's going to be coaching or the offense is what's going to do them in. But, Coach, let's get into the Eagles. I mean, obviously, look, I think we'll start with Jalen Hurts. I think he's had a nice year. I think you've definitely seen improvement. One thing I'll give you credit for, I was kind of teetered all year, you know what I mean? But, I think you can say he's definitely improved. Headed in the right direction. I mean, not many people were picking this team as a playoff team, Coach.
But you did. You did.
Them and the Saints were going to be, two teams to watch out for, just because I knew about the Eagles' offensive line. But I think you would agree too. Jalen Hurts does need to get a little bit better with his reads and throwing the ball down the football. But hey, that's the one thing I don't think people understand. And you've said it too. I mean, he's basically played a year of football now. They want these guys to be instant stars, and that's just not realistic. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to give these guys time. So, but I think obviously you give Hurts another year and hope you see improvement. If you do,
you're going to give him another year because he's still on that rookie.
right?
You know, it's his fourth year, right? Isn't that year 4 coming into or year 3? Still
he's
on his
year
rookie
3. Right.
Yeah, so you know, so you basically have him for free for another year or two. So
and you know what? Even if you get
him,
to year 4, Coach, and you want to give it a look, see, you still got the franchise tag too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And look, I would definitely wait to that to look, man. You're seeing a lot of teams, and we'll talk about Baker later, but. You had the Goff situation where they signed him and had to trade him and take the big cap hit.
Right.
You had the Wentz situation. You know, Baker, I bet you the Browns are really saying, man, we're glad he didn't sign that.
Right.
I guess they offered whatever. And he said, you know, it wasn't enough money. He wanted to play. And boy, I bet you he regrets it now because the Browns aren't going to give it to him now. They're going to have him, play
And I don't think anybody's going to give him. I'll be very surprised if someone gives him a big deal. I think it's going to be a play it and earn it type contract. He's going to get a 1 year, 1 year deal, $12 million incentive.
Depending on what happens next year, he's due $18 million next year. So whether they,
but they didn't pick up his option, so he's a free agent.
No, well, they could cut him. Yeah, no, they could cut him.
Right,
and it's no cap hit to them. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think the Browns is pretty much going to be simple. If they can get an upgrade, they're going to do it. If they can't, they're going to bring him back. I think that was kind of the situation with the Raiders, and I definitely understand more with the Raiders. Carr, he has some mistakes, but you do got to give Carr credit in the sense that they've been through a lot of stuff this year,
right?
And and for them to at least be there with a chance. You got to give Carr his due. Now, Coach, let me ask you with the Eagles, what can they do in the playoffs? I'll start with myself if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I think I don't think the Eagles can get past the second round, but I do think the Eagles can win a playoff game. I think if they, match up against Tampa or the Rams, I know it sounds crazy because it's you're saying Brady. But with all the injuries in Tampa and the defensive injuries, I could see him beating Tampa Bay. Look, it's a team that struggled to beat the Jets last week. And you have the whole AB situation.
Right.
I think the Eagles can win a game, but I think that's their ceiling. I don't see them going into Green Bay and winning or, going and beating a 2 or 3 seed, whomever it may be. But what do you think?
I agree with that. I'm with you there. I don't see them, obviously going to Green Bay but you know what? The Eagles, when they are one of the best running football teams in the league, when they do it consistently,
right?
And that's the thing. If Sirianni can get out of his own way and run that football, they have a chance in every game they're going to play here on
right. Out. Well, now with the problem, and that's the thing with the Bucs. The Bucs are one of the best run defense teams, but they are injured, so you're going to need to mix that run. The throw in a little bit, but you got to stick to what got you there too, Coach. You're right. And the Eagles is running the ball, not throwing the football 40 times. That's not their formula for success. And Brian.
Yeah,
rumors of Calvin Ridley. It would be
unless
they release him.
Right.
It'll be by trade, I think. Because he's on the last year of his deal. But what's great is he's on the last year of his deal. He had the whole mental health thing this year where he walked away from the team. So I think you might be able to get him for a 3rd round pick. I think he's a great addition to the Eagles and what they need because and I said, and Coach will tell you, I've said it all the last, month and a half. If I'm the Eagles, I'm bringing in another weapon to play on the other side of Devontae Smith. I think Ridley's perfect because let's not forget, Alabama kid who played with Hurts and with Devontae Smith. So you bring in Ridley to play on the other side.
You sure? I think he was gone by the time those guys
No,
got
they
there.
played together freshman
Did
year.
they? Okay.
The Jalen Hurts freshman year. And then you draft 3 defensive guys on defense because I don't think the offense is far away. You got the line there. I'm actually good with the running back situation. But we need linebackers. We need an edge rusher, and I think we need another player in the secondary. And Brian, you are correct. Sanders may come back as well, and I believe, it's looking good for him actually coming back. So that'll be interesting too. Now, yesterday, obviously, Coach, Chiefs Broncos. I think the Chiefs they came out a little lackluster. I think they thought the Broncos were kind of in give up mode. Fangio knowing his job was done. I give credit to the Broncos. I thought they played a decent game, but man, now that the Chiefs have lost that number 1 seed, unless obviously the Titans lose today, are they still your favorite in the AFC to win the AFC Championship?
No, they're not. And I think nobody's scared to go into Arrowhead and play them. I don't think anybody. They've lost that kind of kind of like New England. Oh, you got to go into New England and play. It's not there anymore. They've lost that kind of luster that they need, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if they were one and done because it's so competitive in that AFC that any one of those wild card teams can come up and bite somebody.
And Coach, there's a possibility if the Raiders win and the Colts win, the Chiefs will be playing the Colts in the first round. And I'll tell you, I can tell you right now, I'm going to be on the Colts. I really am. Definitely plus the points. I think outright too. The Chiefs are just look. Everybody was all the defense. Now you've seen the defense. The Broncos just put up 24 on them or whatever. Yeah, 24 yesterday.
Right.
I mean, Burrows threw all over them. So, that Chiefs defense, I'm not as sold on.
Look, they're a fumble away from losing that game. I mean, Denver doesn't fumble that driving down.
Mahomes should have had 2 or 3 picks too. I mean, right in Denver's hands, and they dropped. And that's the one thing you got to look out for, Coach. When the Chiefs, because they've changed their offense around. They used to be all the explosive plays, and now they're, taking what you give them. They're having those 7-8 minutes drive, which is not a bad thing. But when Mahomes gets behind, he tends to try to do too much. And then you can see him make mistakes, and they're really taking Kelsey and Hill out of the game. You've seen it the last couple of weeks. It's been the strategy, Coach, is take Kelsey and Hill out of the game. And I think it frustrates Mahomes, especially when he's behind. Look, if they're winning and they're up, you saw it with the Bengals. He had confidence, but when the Bengals got back in that game, and, the Chiefs only had a field goal in the second half, they really struggled. I think he is a coach.
Listen, man. That's why I have the background, so you can't see. The back of what's behind me.
This has got his hairnet on and his rubber gloves. Now, Coach. Raiders Chargers tonight. Winning your in game. I think a big game for both quarterbacks, too, reputation-wise. I mean, I know Herbert's only in year 2. But Coach. You lose playoff. Well, this isn't a playoff game, but still.
Technically, it is kind of, but
Yeah, you lose big games. You get that he can't win the big game mantra, Coach. So, and look, Derek Carr.
What's up, Uncle Bill?
What's going on, Uncle Bill? Derek Carr. Obviously, one time they made the playoffs, he couldn't play in the game because I believe he broke his leg or whatever.
Yeah, broke his leg prior.
So I think a big game for his legacy, especially everything that's going on here. If he can pull it off today and win those last 4 games, and look, they've had some things bounce their way, but I did say I had a better chance of beating Usain Bolt in the 100 than the Raiders did of winning the last 4 games, and here we sit, Coach. That's how the NFL is. So, I got Coach. Who do you like today? Raiders, Chargers. I'll give my pick later, but curious, who you like?
I like the Chargers. I just do. I just think that the Raiders can't stop the run. My problem is you're seeing kind of that McCarthyism with the Chargers in the coaching, where we saw that on that Monday night, keep going for two in such a close game, and kind of you wind up coaching yourself out of that game.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's the thing that worries me tonight about that is Staley. Can he be focused enough? Is someone going to get in his ear tonight and tell him to pump the brakes?
Yeah, I mean, you saw in the Chiefs game, Coach, that was squarely on him. I mean, I know you see the score 34-28 at the end because they went in overtime, but it was a low-scoring game to the fourth quarter. And as a defensive coach, you should know, hey, points are a premium here. Let's kick the, and he multiple times went for it on 4th and 5, and they should at least won by 6 points. But I'll be like you said, he was going for it. So I think that's a great point. Now I ask you, and I think you said it before, but if Raiders win, does Davis brings back Versace in your mind?
I think so. I think usually we see that trend. We saw it with Virginia Tech in college. They beat their rival. They went into a bowl game, so the guy keeps his job. And I think that's the same thing that's going to happen here with the Raiders.
I like Versace. I think that would be a mistake. Just because
I like the guy as well. But
I think you retain him as your special teams coach, and this is tough because usually you give your head coach carte blanche, but I like Gus Bradley as defensive coordinator too. So I mean, maybe you keep Versace.
It depends who you bring in. I think who the coach is before you start keeping coordinators, and I think because I'm hearing that with the Giants that you want to. Graham, the defensive coordinator, is a guy you could build around, but that's up to the head coach coming in. I mean, I'm not keeping the guy as you have to keep this guy because I think you just hamstring a coach. Just like Joe Judge got hamstring. By having to have Jason Garrett in there. So it is what it is.
Yeah. All right, now, Coach. Colts Jags today. Okay, so Colts, just got to win and they're in. And you think, they only got to beat a 2-win team. But they haven't won one in Jacksonville since 2014.
Right.
Coach.
It's a long time.
How bad is a Colts loss on the reputation of Carson Wentz?
Huge. Because,
especially, Coach, with the Eagles making the playoffs.
Right.
Hurts comes in, gets them to the playoffs. Wentz goes to what's considered the much better team, much better roster, and if he loses, can't get it done. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I wanted to.
But you remember the Colts last year were 11-5 with a quarterback that was an 85-year-old quarterback. I mean, let's face it. But he made that team 11-5, and now he comes here and is struggling to win 10 games.
Right, with an extra game in the season.
Right, with an extra game.
Now, they did have a tougher schedule this year. They started their first, I think it was 5 games with teams that have won 10 or more games. But still, no excuses. They've had plenty of games that they've blown. I mean, the Ravens game, they had a 47-yard field goal at the end, and they had a 19-point lead as well. I thought they blew the Titans game. They blew the Bucks game. And, look, that's on you. That's on you and the team. You got to be able to close those games. So, I just wanted to get your point on that. I think it's a really big game for the Colts. And, Coach, I just got a weird feeling. We'll see what happens. I obviously want to see the Colts in the playoffs because I think they're one of the better teams in the league. I think they're obviously one of the top 14. I think you'd agree with that. I mean, absolutely. The 1-4 start kind of hurt them, but we'll see what happens. But I'm actually kind of rooting for the Colts and Wentz today. We'll see what happens. But I think it's really damaging to Carson Wentz's career if they lose today because it's going to be blamed on him. You know how it is when you're the quarterback, Coach, and they're going to say, we were 11-5, but just like you said, with Phillip Rivers, and here we sit 9-8 with Carson Wentz, and it was supposed to be an upgrade. And the Eagles lose him and they're in the playoffs now. And it's not a much different Eagles team. You got Devontae Smith, you got, Landon Dickerson on the line, but it's not a much different team. Yes,
Right.
they are healthier, but it's not a completely different roster. So interesting what happens in that game. Rams Niners, big game for both teams. Rams win, they clinch the NFC West, get a home playoff game. Also
Now, don't they get the 2 seed? Are they with that too?
You'll get the 2 seed too, which you want because it's a home game in the second round, and it gives you a better chance to get into that NFC Championship, where obviously you're playing for yourself to get into the Super Bowl.
Thanks, Steve. I was going to bring that up. Nevada Nick hasn't given me a chance today.
Yeah,
but yes,
we'll
because the Giants are just such a great cap. They have such a cap guru who's supposed to be our next general manager. We don't have enough money to put a full 53 on the field today. How about that?
Unbelievable. And what's sad about that, Coach, is with the team you're putting out there and the record you're putting out, that's a bomb. That's that's crazy, Coach.
Yep.
But yeah, so Rams Niners, like I said, Rams win. They win the NFC West and the 2 seed, as you said, Coach. Niners, if they win, they're in the playoffs. They can still make it if the Saints lose today, but still they want to win them, because you can't count on a team to lose. So Niners need to win that game. Niners have won 5 straight against the Rams. Who do you like today, Coach?
I do. I like the Niners today.
Okay. All right.
I do. I like the Niners. I feel like, they
one of my games, so I'll wait for my pick. But.
Jimmy G is going to, coming out, and he's playing, he's auditioning for other teams. He's auditioning for 31 other teams today, and I think he's going to go out, have a big game, and I think they pull it out, and the Niners become spoilers.
Yeah, and that is he is going to start today. They did announce that, or he's expected to start. You got to see how that thumb is, though. That's a pretty on your throwing hand, Coach.
Yep,
to have a broken. I don't know if it was broken or I don't know. It's something weird. But
I thought it was like a ligament thing or something.
Yeah, but still, anything like that on your throwing hand. Yeah, obviously breaking news. Broncos officially fired Vic Fangio.
Yeah, I figured they weren't even going to wait till Monday.
Yeah, because I thought it might be Lance today. I was surprised. I thought the Niners. I mean, obviously it's a huge game, and I get it. I think Garoppolo. You're a better team with Garoppolo right now than you are with Trey Lance, just because on sheer experience, knowledge of the offense, playing in big games, all those things. So, yeah. Now, Coach AB is claiming the Bucs wanted to force him to play. If this comes out as true, okay, let's say it's true, and that he had an ankle injury. There is some text messages, whether they're real or not, but all the stuff he said, basically with some investigation, can be found out, Coach. Right. If you find out it's true that, AB said, I'm hurt, I can't play. He's got the MRI, he was hurt, and it was a pretty significant injury. And BA basically did say, you're done because you wouldn't play hurt. Does that change your mind on him playing in the NFL again? Which he says he wants to do.
I always think that talent always finds a way on the field no matter what, right. And we've seen that happen time and time again in the league. So, and I think you're right. I think but AB is just. I think we look at it because AB has cried wolf. He's had so much stuff going on.
Credibility isn't there.
It's kind of jaded the way you look at it. So his credibility, it's like you've cried wolf too many times.
No matter what, it still doesn't make you go do what you still shouldn't have done what you did.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if that happened, and I get it, look, if they did that and you walk off the field and just head to the locker room, it's a much different thing. Right. And you would have been up, but you ripping your shirt off, taking it off, running through the end zone while there's a play going on, that killed it. If he would have just simply walked to the there he is.
There he is.
There he is.
Welcome in. Stizz, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, if he just would have walked off the field it would have been a different scenario. So, yeah. Now, Green Bay today. Green Bay's going to play their starters. We'll go with Stizz to start with that. Stizz, do you agree with that decision to play the starters today when it's basically a meaningless game for the Packers?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't think you play them the full game like Dallas did last night. But, yeah, I agree with you always play your starters. I mean, you have to have reps going into the playoffs. You want to stay loose. Right. I don't think you want to go in cold, do you? I mean, especially if you got a bye week for our Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, Coach, do you think it's a mistake playing your starters?
No, and I think you won't see them past the first. I think they treat it like a fourth preseason game, where they kind of just play the first quarter and move on. Sammy, I didn't finish the dishes yet. I'm still working on them. Stizz, that's right.
Stizz. So you could hear somebody doing dishes in the background with Coach, and they said it was Stizz doing the dishes in the background.
Yeah. Well, make sure you take your net off.
I'll be honest with you, fellas. I may have been a big poker game last night, and man, I took a beating. So the reason why I'm late, I had to go up and down the avenue, try to put in some job applications to recoup some of that money. So yeah, dishwasher, at the local restaurant was one of my applications I put in. So
I figured Phil and Jim's waiting for you to come back, man.
They love to come back.
Trust me.
Dude, you got to have a Stizz chicken cutlet. He made some good hot sausages too. You got to get a Stizz chicken cutlet.
Yeah,
nobody's got better fried chicken than my boy Sam Cousteau at Sam and Sam's, man. Best fried chicken around. I'll tell you, this is a true story. I felt like such a lard ass when it was so good. I was literally in the aisle, like waiting to check out, eating the chicken. I'm sitting there eating, and people looking, I'm fucking eating the chicken right in the aisle. I'm gonna go get some fried chicken now today.
Coach, how about that? Coach, how'd you like to turn around? How'd you like to turn around in a line and see this guy eating drumsticks? You know what I mean?
Oh my God! I'd be like, "Hey, can I get one?"
Yeah.
Now, guys, Baker Mayfield, he had an opportunity to sign a long-term deal during the summer and passed on it, which obviously now is a huge mistake. Because I think it was in that $25 million, $30 million range. So obviously a huge mistake by him. But is he done in Cleveland? And I'll start with you, Coach.
Yes, he is. He's done. I think soon as whatever the date is to start releasing guys, he will be released. And they will move on because they will find an upgrade to him because Cleveland is a quarterback away from being a contender in this league. Because you watched last year the Browns, Mayfield they didn't ask him to do much. They had that two-headed monster, but you saw this year with COVID and the injuries that he had to do more and he just couldn't do it. And you saw his true colors, so to speak, come out, and he's not the guy. And I said that from Jump Street, and I think they move on, and I think they go hard after Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, yeah, I mean, and that's we've talked about it before. I think that's the predicament is, I think these teams are going to want. If they have somebody that they've targeted that's going to be an improvement and an upgrade, you got to do it. But that's going to be the question. Can they find somebody they consider better? I mean, do they go to the Ravens and try to get a Huntley? I think that's a stretch a little bit. Baker was hurt this year. Stefanski does have a relationship with Kirk Cousins. But, see, I don't think the Vikings are going to move off Cousins. I didn't know. His cap hits $45 million next year. So I don't think the Vikings are going to be able to get rid of him. Stizz, what do you think? Is Baker done in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, Coach is right. They didn't ask him to do much this year. I think he is done because he hasn't really proved much. We know that Cleveland's a run first offense. They're a defensive mind offense. But when you look at Baker's numbers for the year, 3,010 yards, 17 touchdowns to 13 interceptions. He only had 2 games over 250 passing yards this year.
Wow.
I mean, that really shows you, even though you're a run-first offense, you still have to have good games when you need to. And a 17 to 13 ratio just doesn't cut it.
Right.
In my opinion. So I don't think you could pay somebody big money with them stats.
Okay. No, I agree. Now, bold prediction for the week. I'll start with mine. And mine's kind of like too late. I'm going to go with 2 teams. I think the Dolphins and the Panthers are both going to cover the spread. But I really think they both have a chance to win outright. So, especially Carolina, just a weird feeling. All the injuries going on in Tampa. Obviously, I know you still have Brady there, but they're working a lot of things out in Tampa, and he's got some young receivers. He's got to work with. So I really see a possibility of Carolina winning outright. But yeah, and I can see, like I said, the Patriots too, who are a 6.5-point favorite at Miami, where New England has always struggled in Miami.
Yep.
If you remember that game too, where they lost late in the game, where that crazy play, remember Gronk missed the tackle, and they said Gronk was on the field. So, they have historically struggled in Miami, and obviously, I'm hoping the Colts pull it off today.
Steve, Nevada Nick is a better upgrade than Johnny Manziel. Come on, man.
Probably, yeah. I can agree with that, buddy.
He's saying, is he an improved Johnny Manziel?
Oh, yes, he's
not by much.
Not by much, but you got the same guy.
Same kind of stature, what I mean? Small guy. And look, that's another thing people don't realize with Baker. Leads the league because of, being short and tipped passes as well. Stizz, your bold prediction.
Well, I'm going to piggyback off of last week's bold prediction, where I had Arizona with the upset win over Dallas with Kyler Murray, 2+ touchdowns. The rushing yards were a little skewed on my end. I called for 60 rushing yards. He had like about 35. So I got the upset win. But I'm going to piggyback off of Arizona. And, to be honest with you, with a subpar second half of the season, I mean, they started off 7-0, started going downhill. We kind of talked about them. Are they the Fugazi team now that we thought earlier in the year? I don't know. I don't think so right now. And I think Arizona piggybacks off that big win last week. They get another win today over Seattle, along with a Rams loss today against San Fran.
I like it.
And Arizona takes the NFC West after starting off strong and kind of, tempering off a little bit.
And I look, it's very possible. You know what I mean? Stizz brings up a great point. That's a very possible scenario. I don't think people think it's good. But, the Niners have won 5 straight against the Rams, although they are favored at home. But, yeah. And look, that's a huge swing, too, as you guys know, because you go from being the 5 seed with the Cardinals to now being possibly a 2 or a 3 seed.
Correct.
So it's a huge swing.
Big jump. Yeah.
Yeah. Coach, your bold prediction.
Well, you know where I'm going.
You're trying to think of one in his head right
now.
No,
I'm not. You know where I'm going. I mean, the Giants. I said it earlier. No, they gave. No, what I'm saying is the Giants are going to get blown out today because they gave so much, billboard
That's
material.
That's not a bold prediction. They've been getting blown out every week.
Coach said his bold prediction is Giants are going to make the playoffs.
There you go.
That's great.
Look, you know what? I honestly think I like Jacksonville today. Down there, they've got Indy's number, and I think they give Indy a lot of problems. That they might even win it, but I believe that they
to possibly Jacksonville Wigan. He goes to tell him Fusco. That's great. Got him Otis. That's great. All right, so coaches, that's great. Now Bills win, and they obviously clinched the AFC East.
Look at Coach's pick.
What's that?
Look at Coach's profile. He's frozen on my end. Is he frozen?
Oh, yeah, he is frozen. Yeah, he was frozen. I saw it. You're right.
That's a great look.
Yeah, he had a big smile on his face. So, Bills winning. They clinch the AFC East for second year in a row. What are your guys' expectations for the Bills in the playoff? They've been so, it's like, oh man, I think they're starting to get it going, and then they lose to the Jags, or it just seems like they've been up and down all year. Coach, I'll start with you. What are your expectations for the Bills in the playoffs?
If they win the division and have a home game, I think they win a game and go on. But if they wind up being the wild card, I think they're one and done.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, like I said, without knowing the matchup and, Stizz, what's your expectations for the Bills in the playoffs?
I mean, they were my pick beginning of the year.
They were mine too.
Yeah. I think all of us were pretty much on board.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
But as we've seen as the year goes by, you play every game, so you got to temper your expectations as you go through the season. My expectations aren't a whole lot for the Buffalo Bills from what I've seen. The real call is nobody's really talking about the Kansas City Chiefs, who are quietly a 12-5 team. I mean,
they're not scaring anybody anymore.
Well, apparently, because nobody's really talking about them.
Right.
I don't know. They were another one of my team, maybe our teams, kind of in the beginning of the season. I don't know, man. They might turn on a different engine in the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes and company. I don't know. I think it's still this road still has to go through Kansas City.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe not the number one seed because depending on what Tennessee does today, but I think this road still has to go through Kansas City. Yeah. I think they're still the team in the AFC. So I see maybe one or two wins for the Buffalo Bills, but I just can't see them getting to the Super Bowl like I originally thought beginning of the season.
Yeah, and you know what, Stizz? The one thing, I see what you're saying with the Chiefs. I think people were starting to kind of talk about them. And then they lost to the Bengals and lost that one seed.
Sure.
The team nobody's talking about is the Titans.
Well, yeah.
And you know that. You know what I mean? But I think everybody knows that's going to be on the foot of Derrick Henry. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you really got to wonder.
Literally the foot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, is he going to be healthy or, Uncle Bill? So he's going to – okay, I like an Uncle Bill. And hey, me and Stizzalicious, we called it last time when the Texans beat the Titans. We both said it. So, very curious to see. Jared, we are having trouble. We've been having trouble with our Google.
Yeah.
So, sorry, buddy. Coach has got our technical assistant, Coach.
Yeah, you can call and leave a message if you want.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
So me with the Bills – I agree. I don't think the Chiefs are going to make the Super Bowl. I'll say that. I think there's issues offensively. I think there's issues defensively, and it's tough to see who. But yeah, I think if they play a Titans, they play a Bills again. I think the Colts, who they may play in the first round. I think if the Chiefs play the Colts, I think it's very possible for them to lose in the first round.
Yeah, Jared, we already talked about it. And,
we heard about and Fusker. That's a great point too about the Bengals. They are playing really well, and like with the Bengals, it's so tough because I'm telling you, and I said this last week. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills, the Colts, the Bengals, the Chiefs, or the Titans made it to the Super Bowl.
No doubt.
And I'm not kidding. All five of those teams. Right. There's two teams I don't think can do it, and it's the Chargers or Raiders winner. And the Patriots. I just think Mac Jones on the road for 3 games, and I don't like Bill Belichick, but I just think it's going to be too much to ask with that offense. I don't think the Raiders or Chargers can do it just because of weakness. But the Bengals, they showed you with the Chiefs. The Bengals can beat anybody, and they're dangerous. I'm a little concerned about Joe Burrow's knee injury though. And we'll see what happened there. Stizz, I know he didn't play this week. Did any news?
No, and you know what? They said on the TV that they were resting him non-injury related. So
okay.
I know he was hobbled at the end of the last week's game, but man, what a great story the Cincinnati Bengals as a sleeper team.
Oh, 100%.
Coming off a major surgery in the offseason, Joe
Yeah.
Burrow comes back and has a season like this with a rookie who takes over the rookie record, right, from Justin Jefferson last year and Jamar Chase.
Yep.
I mean, what a great story to talk about. And hopefully we see the Cincinnati Bengals moving forward, in more playoffs.
We're going to have them. They're going to start singing, got this feeling going to the Super Bowl.
I think Joe Burrow deserves a lot of MVP consideration.
Absolutely.
I really do. I mean, taking a team like that, I mean, at one point, they were 35-1 to win that North. Yeah. Nobody talked about them. And Brian, good point.
Yeah.
That's going to be big. Kelsey got
he got dinged up right at the end.
Last play. And Hill, you could see they wanted that win yesterday, but he was going in and out yesterday and didn't have much of an impact. I think he
7 of the first 33 plays, he only played 7 snaps.
Was he favored an ankle? Was it an ankle issue? Is that what it was?
It's an ankle, some type of lower leg. Yeah.
Coach
with the
he must have been Googling or something. 7 of the first.
No, I watched the game. They put that stat up on the TV yesterday, man.
Nick, he's up on the rooftop. What else do you think he's doing up there? The Wi-Fi's great up there.
Yeah, it's his heel. That's what I just looked at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I want to just because I read this that the Carolina is going to be shopping McCaffrey this offseason.
Really?
Coach, you see these things, man, and he takes them for. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, but but again, it shows you these running backs are. You pay them the big money and then they kind of fall off a cliff, man.
Yeah, I don't think somebody's going to bite and give you big compensation. Teams
I don't think so.
Like paying running backs, and
especially ones that are injured for the last 2 years.
Yeah, and show me a contract that's worked out.
Right.
A big running back contract that's worked out.
Right.
I mean,
I know.
None of them have. Gurley was a disaster. Zeke, I think you would say, hasn't definitely worked out.
No.
McCaffrey, I mean, look, the talent's there, but he hasn't been on the field the last 2 years. So that's why Barkley's going to be screwed too.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, in regards to the Bills, I don't know. I mean, that team, if things fall their way, I think they can make a Super Bowl, but I don't see it happening this year. I could see him in the AFC Championship game again. I'm really good. Now, guys, last year, Bucks kind of went into the playoffs real hot. People are sleeping on the Rams a little bit. Rams have won 5 straight, and I get it. Stafford has been turning the ball over, 7 turnovers in the last 3 games. But do you guys think there's a chance, obviously, the Rams can be last year's Bucks and make a run here in the playoffs? I'll start with you, Stizz.
I don't think so.
Straight? Okay, good.
Yeah, I don't think so. Matt Stafford, I was a truther. I told you, I had him on a big prop bet. I followed him. They were a really fun team to watch, but you just mentioned turnovers.
Yep.
He's got to clean them turnovers up. He can't be, throwing interceptions in big games like this. Right. We're going to see what Cam Akers has to offer. And now he may be playing limited snaps today. It's going to be interesting. You have Cooper Kupp on your team, 1,829 yards this year so far. What a game! I mean, it's unbelievable, man. This guy is just an absolute monster. So, I'm actually looking at Dallas and Green Bay being the 2 best teams out of the NFC, and I think that the Rams are going to have a tough time against either one of them. When and if they play them,
especially Stizz, if it plays out like you said. And the NFC West goes to the Cardinals, I think the Rams are done then. I really do.
Yeah,
the 3 road games isn't going to happen. I think for the Rams to get to the Super Bowl, obviously they're going to need that 2 seed. And like you said, you're going to have Stafford play turnover-free football. I mean, maybe you could throw a turnover in a game, but if you're doing 2 or 3 turnovers a game, no way you're going to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Coach, can the Rams make a run like the Bucks did last year?
No.
Okay. Coach,
no, because you got to go to Green Bay, and I honestly think Aaron Rodgers is on a mission, and I just don't think it'll work out with them.
Brian.
Green Bay and Bills.
I like it. I mean, I think everybody right now is going to say Green Bay in the NFC. I think that's pretty much a consensus, And look, they've earned it. I think they're the AFC. I'm real curious. I'm excited. That's the other reason today. I'm excited to get to these games, see what happens tonight, and then see the bracket because you really want to see it and how it breaks down because that's big too. The bracket's huge and the seeding. Just like let's not forget a couple years ago when this will be the 1,000th time I bring this up, but when I called the Chiefs winning it, the Patriots went and lost a big game, and it might have been to the Dolphins. I think it was.
I think you're right.
And they lost home field advantage to the Chiefs, and that was huge. And then obviously, they didn't lose. Yeah, the Chiefs got the 2 seed, but that's when they still got a bye. So the Chiefs would have been a wild card team. Patriots lose. They become a wild card team, and that was Brady's last year. Chiefs go to the 2 seed. Ravens lose to the Titans.
Right.
So the Chiefs had the AFC Championship game at home. So, but that's why you got to wait and see. The seeding will really be able to help us kind of see, what we think to them when it comes to. Which I'm excited to hear what everybody's Super Bowl pick is next week once we get the results after tonight, Coach. Did you want to get into your Giants a little bit? Because Stizz, I don't know if you heard this. The Giants have no cap room, so they
don't have enough cap space to have a 53-man roster on the field today.
You're kidding me.
No,
how's that possible?
Right, but here's the thing: the cap guru guy, who's the assistant general manager, is supposed to be the new general manager. Like he's the guy in waiting, I guess. But how do you tout this guy as a cap master when you don't have enough friggin' money to field a team? That's ridiculous.
But how does this happen week 18 of the season that they can't field a roster like?
Well, because the part of the problem is when you bring these guys up on COVID from the practice squad to you got to pay them a bit more money. So you've had to bring up the Giants have had to bring up so many guys that they have to pay these guys.
Can't take the people going on the COVID list; they still get paid.
Right?
I got you. Right. Okay,
and I forgot to actually put my point on that with the Packers. I don't have a problem with them playing their starters. I get it because think about it. If you don't play them today, that's a week.
2 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks without playing. So it's a week today, 2 weeks next week, 3 weeks. Uncle Bill, I think they're going to play a half. But a guy like Aaron Jones, if somebody's nicked up, I don't think they play. And that's why I think everybody's so surprised because you're talking about Aaron Rodgers' toe and why. But I think you want to keep that. Because, if you don't play 3 weeks, right, Stizz, thank you for I couldn't think of the word.
Yeah.
You want to keep the momentum, and you don't want to come into a big playoff game in the second round and come out cold. Because, you get down 10-0 or whatever and can't come back, it's not going to be a good thing, obviously. Now, we'll get into my picks. Let me get my picks up here, sorry. All right, so I got a bunch for you today.
You got a laundry list.
Yeah,
Degenerate laundry list.
Right. and today's probably the last day you should be betting games. There's not many games that are meaningful.
Week 1 and week 18 are the worst weeks to bet football.
Except for week 1, bet dogs. It always seems to come out. I don't remember what it was this year, Stizz. And I'll give you a little tidbit about next week too. And Stizz knows this. Usually the first 2 weeks of the playoffs, dogs bark. They bark big time in week 1. Favorites are the thing in week 2. And it's remember the last couple of years, I think it was 3-1 last year, Stizz, with the dogs barking.
I think you're right.
So my first game I'm going to give out, I like the Falcons plus 3.5. At home, get more than a field goal to the Saints, who they beat earlier in the year. I just like the game. If Kyle Pitts doesn't play, I might pull this back. So look at that.
But they've won one home game all year.
What's that?
They've won one home game all year.
Okay, well, We'll call them the New York Giants. Don't doubt my picks, Coach. All right, we'll get into that in a second. I totaled up all our locks of the week, and we can all guess who the winner was. Falcons plus 3.5 against the Saints. I think the Falcons have a good shot of winning this game. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I got a 3-team teaser. I like this one. I'm nervous about the Colts, but I'm hoping they should come out huge. You think with a Jags team with all the turmoil, the Colts should win by at least a touchdown, I hope. But they only beat them by 6 points at home. But I'm going Titans minus a half, 3-team 10-point teaser. Titans minus a half, Colts minus 4, Bills minus 6. All teams that need wins. Titans trying to clinch a 1 seed, Colts trying to get in the playoffs, Bills trying to win the AFC East against a lowly Jets team. I like this 3-team teaser, and I like to get as much action as I can on as many games as I can. So I'm going to be a degenerate and give you a 3-team 10-point tease. Then I'm going to go to tonight's game. I like the Raiders plus 3. I really do. I think they have the better of the two defenses. Josh Jacobs has been playing better the last couple of weeks. That is the Chargers' weakness, is the run defense. I think you're going to see the Raiders run the football. And it just seems like a lot of things have been falling the Raiders' way. Obviously the Browns had the COVID issues. Bridgewater was out against the Broncos. The Colts, Wentz didn't practice all week. It was Zoom. He had COVID, and they had a bunch of players just coming off COVID, which, it had to affect you somewhat health-wise. I mean, you don't get sick and then you're 100% in 5 days. So I like the Raiders plus 3. I think they're going to find a way. I think it's going to be loud in Vegas today. Probably one of their first true complete home games against the Chargers because they've had a lot of traveling fans coming into Vegas. I'm going to go with the Raiders plus 3. Then I'm going to go with the Fins. This is plus 6.5. By the hook, get the touchdown. Look, these are two good defenses. I see a very low-scoring game in here. I think the Dolphins do have a shot at possibly winning the game outright. But yeah, Belichick versus one of his disciples and Brian Flores. I see a low scoring, and it was last game was 17-16, and really was decided by I think it was Damian Harris fumble, right? Yeah, inside the 5 too. And I remember because that was my opening pick this year was the Patriots. And that was one of my losses I shouldn't have had, which there was a couple of them in there. So I'll go Dolphins plus 7. And then, is that everything? Let me check here. Make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, it's come on.
Break out the abacus.
Yeah. Yep. I swear I had another pick too. I'm trying to think what it was. Oh, yeah. And I didn't do the banner for it. I'm also going to give out Rams are 3 and a hook right now. I'm sorry, I'm going to go against you, Stizz. I'm going to go. Everybody's on the Niners. That line opened up at 5.5. It's down to 3.5. By the hook, take the Rams at minus 3. I think the Rams are going to find a way to get it done today. I think Jimmy G's a little banged up. They're at home. I think they're going to, they want to end this 5-game losing streak to the Niners. I'm going to go with the Rams minus 3. Now, I did all the mathematics on our line. I did all the mathematics. Now, I had an extra game because I gave a lockout on Thanksgiving. But the winner is me at 10-7, which I thought I was better, but no, only 10-7. I started out 3-5, ended at 7-2. In second place, Stizz, 8-8. Stizz started 3-8, finishing the season 5 straight with his opportunity to go over 500 today with his lock. But Stizz, impressive. Stizz, like I said, man, like the Super Bowl teams, when December comes around, Stizz turns it on.
Listen, I'm money in December, and you know what? You feed me a little bit of nonsense. I hear Coach on winning streaks, and he's stacking wins.
That's right, stacking, baby, stacking.
Listen, Nevada, I can't have that. I can't have that. I can't have Coach, beat me out. So I had to stack 5 wins in a row. You know what I mean? And get back in the runnings. So So, and the third place, what do we
And
got for that record?
Coach, 6-9-1. Now, Coach did start 0-4. So he actually ended 500 in his last 12 weeks, 6-5-1. So if he wouldn't have picked the Giants the first 4 weeks, he might have. And you didn't pick the Giants the first. Let's see how many times he picked the Giants. 1, 2. Oh, it was only twice. I thought it was much more than that.
Okay.
But yeah, that was early when he was forgetting to make his picks. And you know what the great thing is?
Yes.
My lock of the year in the beginning of the year, I said, is that Coach will forget to do his lock of the year, which he did.
Lock it up.
So now, Stizz, let's get to your prop bet, and then we'll do our locks. Get Stizz.
Okay. Prop bet this week. I think Big Ben has been in retirement mode. I mean, he had an okay game, last game at Heinz Field. But I got to take his under on passing yards, under 229.5 passing yards. I think it's going to be another Najee Harris game. Baltimore's playing for their dear life to try to sneak into the playoffs, which I really don't think they do. I think one of my bold predictions a few weeks ago was that Baltimore was going to lose out and not make the playoffs. Yeah. So I'm going Big Ben under 229.5 passing yards for today.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, and, teams have been passing on the Ravens, but I think the difference is going to be the Ravens bring pressure, and I think they're going to get the Big Ben. I really do. So and I thought the Steelers last week, their game plan was mind-boggling. I honestly think they were trying to get this big, big game for Big Ben to go out on because Najee was running the ball well. Yeah. I mean, I think Roethlisberger had like 46 throws for it was like 2.5 yards a throw. Yeah. I mean, and Najee was averaging 5 yards a carry. It was very odd. Same with the Browns. I almost thought like Stefanski was trying to make Baker look bad because he just wasn't letting Chubb run the ball. It made no sense.
I know. Peyton kept going. Why isn't he in the game? Why isn't he on the field?
He's like, whenever Chubb isn't in, he's like, bad shit happens. So now my lock for this week, it's going to be those Dolphins +7. I really like this. Obviously they get blown out last week, but you see it a lot where a team that gets blown out will cover the next week, and the Patriots also had a huge win last week where they scored 50 points against
51 or something.
Was that the Jags they played last week?
Or 51 points they put up on them.
All right. Now, Stizz, your lock of the week?
Well, I'm going to go against my financial advisor, Uncle Bill, and I'm going with the Tennessee Titans -10 points in a revenge game. Houston beat them already midway through the season. So this is a revenge game. This is for the number 1 seed. This is for Tennessee getting healthy. The big guy is Derrick Henry. We're looking for him to get healthy during the bye week. So I think they really want that number 1 seed, and I'm going with the Titans -10. It's tough. A lot of big lines again this week.
100%.
And we don't know a lot of guys that are going to play. That's the problem. Right. So, but Tennessee's going to play their full force this week for sure.
Oh yeah, and I think too, Stizz, those first couple weeks, I think they were really having trouble figuring out their identity, the Titans, that Henry was gone. They got Foreman going now. He's been running pretty damn well.
Yeah.
I think they just had to figure it out. The first couple weeks, it wasn't looking good. And that's why I think so many people went off the Titans. But I'll tell you, man, their defense has really been pretty consistent. It's just the offense, and Tannehill was turning the ball over there a lot during that stretch. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Coach, your lock of the week.
Cincinnati. Even with the backups in, they beat the Browns. Browns have packed it in. They're looking for a draft pick now. They've closed it up.
Yeah. Usually, when you're starting running back and quarterback are out, usually you want to tend to I could see it. You never know. I mean, Browns have, and Mayfield will be out too. So,
right.
All right, good stuff, everyone.
I'm a little surprised at it too. Because they could lose and go to the 4 seed. So I'm surprised if Bengals. But I guess with Burrow, you never know. But yeah, Coach,
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Make sure you like us, share it with your friends. Ring the bell down there, and Be safe. Enjoy some football, and